Okay, folks at Intelsat, my name is Marcus Wadsworth. Good afternoon on this Friday. So I have opened the chat box, and so if you do want to participate, you're going to want to send me a personal message so we can talk. But again, my name is Marcus Wadsworth. I'm here representing Wunsupona.com. What is Wunsupona.com? They are a health and wellness company, team-oriented approach for everything from looking good, feeling good, self-defense, office exercises, whatever you need. And that's what we're here to do today. And here's Wunsupona, Wunsupona. And again, my name is Marcus Wadsworth, and I'm out of Alexandria, Virginia, and I am the owner of Ancient Method Fitness as well. So without further ado, let's get to some work here. And okay, so just to introduce what we're going to be doing today, it's a whole full body workout. Some workouts are, you have your arm day, upper body day, what have you. Today's workout will be a full body workout that you can do from your desk, from your bedroom, from any place. You have a full gym. All you need is the force of gravity and something to hold you up maybe from time to time to keep your balance. Okay, so first of all, we want to warm up. Okay, one of the biggest problems we have in working out that people have in general is not warming up. If you want an injury, don't warm up. But what I like to do with my clients is we start out with an abbreviated yoga session so we can just do some stretching and some breathing to get us started. Because if you go into a workout cold, you risk pulled muscles, strained muscles, and a lot of things that could be worse, tears and ligaments and that kind of thing. So you need to be warm. For example, when it's cold outside and you have to go to work early, some folks like to start their car to warm the engine. No different here. So let's get warmed up. So but first of all, let's start out with a breathing exercise. It's called in Sanskrit or Hindi, the pranayama, the complete breath. Now we can do this in two ways. We can do it standing, and we will come up inhaling, completely filling our lungs and holding for 5 and exhaling. As you can see, I went on my tippy toes, and as we exhale, we're collapsing our body around our diaphragm, pushing out all of the air, like squeezing the balloon. Okay, that's one pranayama. Why are we doing this? All day, every day, we hyperventilate. Short breaths all the time. What we are doing, we are filling up our lungs completely, and we're expelling all the carbon dioxide out of our lungs completely. Neat tip, or excuse me, fun fact. The only way we lose mass, weight, whatever, actual mass is through the exhalation of carbon dioxide. Now, like I said, we can modify all these exercises. Let's say we can't stand up and we're at our desk. We can certainly do the same thing. And also, I bet a couple of you have in your cubicles or some sort of little note somewhere, if you're too stressed, breathe in 10 seconds and hold it and exhale it. Same principle, the pranayama, the complete breath. So let's try it from a seated position. And so what we're going to do is breathe in completely, inhale, but we're going to lift up our shoulders like when we were standing, we lifted up our arms, but let's just going to lift up our shoulders so we can expand our lungs. Then I'm going to hold for 10. Get them collapsing again. And let's try it one more time. Now, it's your choice whether you want to stand up. And you'll want to go under your tippy toes and inhale. just for example, to show you the proper process. However, I'm going to do the actual breathing from the seated position because we're in our office right now. And so let's just do that for a hold for 10 seconds after we inhale. Excellent, folks. So again, all day, every day, our whole lives, we hyperventilate. You do not get the full oxygen from minute to minute that your actual lungs can actually have capacity for. And so we can live a month without food. You can live 2.5 days without water. You can't live 5 minutes without precious air. So let's enjoy that pranayama. And we'll complete today's exercise with our pranayama, again, the complete breath. So let's do some stretches and get those big muscle groups and smaller muscle groups warmed up. Okay, let's do a chest expansion. Now, it's also in just there will be a test after this, by the way, and you'll have to remember all the Sanskrit names and spell them. So let's do the Ardha Chakrasana. Obviously, there will not be a test. But what that is a chest expansion. And that is just the next stage in our breathing, but as well as we're going to be stretching several large muscle groups. We're going to be bending our spine. We're going to be stretching our arms, our forearms, biceps, shoulders, chest. And so let's start out. And I'm going to be doing this one standing. And so we're going to bring our hands behind ourselves. And if you can, turn your palms out. If you can't, it is absolutely sufficient to hold your hands together with your palms pointed in. However, with palms pointed out, it will increase the chest stretch as well as your biceps and forearms, namely the brachialis and radialis, which are the two primary muscles in the forearm. There will be a test on that as well. LOL. Okay, so let's lean back. And what you want to do here is pull your hands away from your waistline. And we want to always be breathing. Let's keep our feet parallel. I can't see your feet, but I'm pretty sure they're parallel. And we're holding this position for 10. Always breathing. The muscles need oxygen. Or your lactate will turn to lactic acid and we will be sore. Okay. So there's a second stage or step to the Ardha Chakrasana chest expansion. So what we're going to be doing is the same arm procedure or arm movement, palms out maybe. If not, if that bothers your wrists, forearms, no big deal. We can point our palms together, okay? So no big deal either way. So these are the two variations. And even if your arms are bent, that's okay too. We all have differing ranges of flexibility. Whatever doesn't hurt or pinch, that's what we're going for. If you feel any kind of pinching or something that's beyond the normal tension, immediately stop. But what we're going to be doing for the second step of our Ardha Chakrasana, meaning our chest expansion, let me adjust our camera just so you can see my full body. And I'm going to lean forward. Again, our hands are going away from our waistline. Excuse me. Let me move my desk chair. And I want to make sure my earbud doesn't fall out as well. And so we're just, and I like to go down pretty far. Can you see me? Okay. Yes, you can. And so I will also kind of let gravity push my arms forward. Our feet are parallel. We're holding this as the previous stretch was 10 seconds. This one's going to be 20, give or take. And we're coming up slowly, always slowly and methodically. We never want to have a jerky movement. We want to be graceful, methodical, and deliberate movements. Okay, so that's the chest expansion. I'm feeling better already. I hope you are as well. Okay, the next exercise We've all done this exercise in gym class or whatever sports you've been involved with. Why? Because it's a standard, because it works, because it's essential for a full body stretch. It's the back stretch. It's also known as, let me get it together, as the, okay, Hashimoto Asana. If that's wrong, anyone can correct me. Anyway, it's the back stretch. So we're sitting at our desk. My back hurts. I've been sitting at the desk all day working on a project. Okay. My back is killing me, not only due to just sitting too long, but I'm stressed. And we all know that stress can cause tightness, can cause pain, and primarily, depending on who you are, your neck, shoulders, lower back, other places. But those are the primary ones. Mine's my lower back. Ugh. So what I want to do here is that I'm going to, so if you can lift your legs, I'm going to adjust the camera. Thanks for your patience. Because it's important what I'm going to do with my legs here, because it's a full body stretch. And what it's going to do is going to, exercise the whole posterior kinetic chain. Posterior means our back, the back side completely. Kinetic means energy or moving chain. So basically everything in the back that moves, meaning our whole body, that's what we're going to be exercising. So please look at my feet. Notice how I'm going to pull my toes to my knees. That's called engaging the feet. And you're going to feel that in your quads. You're going to feel it in your calves. And if we want to keep our legs straight, but if your legs aren't straight, that's okay. But we want to keep them as straight as we can so we can stretch those calves and hamstrings. But the toes are very important because that will engage our total posterior kinetic chain from your top of your head down, believe it or not. And you're going to feel it. So what we want to do is see my feet. I know it's a little dark down there, but I'm bringing my toes to my knees. It's engaging the calves. You'll feel that. And I'm going to move forward and stretch. And everyone has a different range here. And so now I'm touching my toes here. And we're going to hold this position. And we do want to pull our navel to our spine. Let's keep our chin up. And you're going to feel a substantial pull in your calves if you're pulling those toes up. And it's going to limit the stretch. But, and we're going to relax. But it's important to note, a lot of folks, they just want to get far in the stretch and push their hands far. This is not a competition. It's never a competition. What we want is to actually stretch properly. So if you don't go that far in the stretch, who cares? It's not a sport. We're just trying to get our muscles, which are elastic, to stretch further. And over time, we're going to be extremely flexible. As we get older, once you get out of your 30s, extensibility and mobility is far more important than basically everything, because that's what helps you get out of bed without feeling pain and having that good range of movement, that childlike movement. Okay, so I would also like to show a modification of that back stretch. Excuse me for cutting the head off there. And so I'm going to, now I know a lot of us can't sit on the floor while we're in our office, but some of us can. So same principle, and I'm just going to move back here, move the chair, and I'm going to bring my toes again to my forehead. So that I'm already feeling that stretch in my posterior kinetic chain. I'm feeling it big time in my calves. And so I'm just going to, now you can be here, doesn't matter. And you're going to pull down, pull your chin up, keep your back straight, navel to your back. We'll hold it for about 20 seconds. So this is extremely important if you have lower back pain. Let me tell you, on either side or in the middle, this is an extremely important stretch. However, engaging the feet, it is very important. Now, however, let's just, for example, I don't engage my feet. I would call that a passive stretch. Yes, you're getting a stretch. You are getting benefits, but it's the difference between using proper technique and improper technique. If we're going to spend the time doing this, let's do it right, and let's get the most benefits we can. So let me just show you a passive stretch with my feet just relaxed. Oh my gosh, I can bend in two doing that. So it limits my stretch here. Ow. But I'm getting more benefit from it. So that's a lot about the Paschimottanasana back stretch, but it's a simple stretch. We've all done it if you've ever taken a gym class, but it's an important one, especially as we get older, especially past our 40s, because that back pain, especially lower back pain, is a real deal. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Excuse me. And so this will be what is also is an important stretch for the spine. It's called the cobra. So that's a fun one. And what we're going to do is we're going to be bending the spine backwards, and we can also, once again, we have variations on how to do this. Excuse me. And so we're sitting at our desk. Let me adjust our camera to properly show the Bhujangasana, the cobra. So if anyone knows anything about yoga, there are several types of yoga. The Bhujangasana, the chest expansion, is standard throughout, very much like the Paschimottanasana, the back stretch. And so what I'm going to do here is very much like a cobra comes up to show its dominance, or not dominance, but it's to catch prey. It lifts up its hood. And so what I want to do is push up off of my desk and bending my spine backwards. And we're breathing. And I'm bending backwards, pushing off, and making a diamond shape, basically in line with my diaphragm. And so that stretch should take place for about 30 seconds. The modification, if you have the space, you can lie on the floor, and that is preferable. But again, if you, as we're just watching, you can see there is substantial bending in the spine, because how often do we actually bend the spine backwards? And so we don't get enough of that movement. In order to have proper flexibility of the spine, we want a whole range of movement, 360 degrees. So just to adjust the camera again for our cobra exercise, my hips are sealed to the ground. And so what I'm going to do, I want to make sure, because that could have been a disaster. All right. So we have a diamond shape in front of the diaphragm, which is just below your chest. And I'm going to push off from the ground, clenching the butt, the gluteus maximus. And we're breathing. And if you can straighten your arms, that's great. If you can't, that's okay. We'll bend the arms. And you're going to feel some tension in the lower back. And also, you're not going to be want to be talking the whole time like I am, because we want to breathe and feed those muscles with good old oxygen. Now, remember, you can be doing this at your desk. What matters is creating that backward bend. Okay, great job, folks. All right. And also, it helps to kind of lean forward after the Bhujangasana or cobra, because it gets tight after that stretch. It has a lot of impact. Okay, folks. Great job. Okay. I'm feeling great already. Okay. Our next exercise or stretch, and we're still just warming up here. We're going to do the Trikonasana, the triangle. We're going to lift one hand up or supinate it. Why we say supinate? Well, not supinate means holding upwards. Kind of a good way to remember it is a cup of soup. This is pronate, supinate. We want to keep the soup in our hands. So I'm going to supinate this hand. The hand that is supinated is going to go upwards. And we want to keep our back straight. Don't lean forward. And we want to keep our head in line with our spine. So don't let it hang down. Don't go up too far. Nice and in line with our shoulders. Let me move back to illustrate how my hips are working here. So our hips will stay stationary. We're going to hold each one for 10 seconds. And gravity will kind of take you down, won't it? You can feel it in your obliques or just above your hips. And let's change sides. And I'm going to supinate this hand and pronate this hand. supinating my left, pronating my right. Beautiful, folks. Ooh. See, I had to adjust my head there. I got lazy and let gravity take my head down. Keep your head straight with your spine. Coming up. Great job. Now, of course, same principle. We can do the same thing. And to the other side. Now, this is interesting. When I'm feeling, in order for me not to fall out of my chair, I need some additional resistance on the leg that's taking that pressure, meaning my right leg at this point, to hold me up. So there's a little bit of leg workout if you're feeling that right now, or at least activating those muscles to provide proper balance. Excellent, folks. Woo! Trikonasana, the triangle. Write that down. Just kidding. Okay, we're doing great, folks. I'm having a blast. Now, circle motion. Now, I don't have a real good Sanskrit word for this. I've researched, can't find it. So anyway, a circle motion. Let's lean forward and to the side. 2, 3. To the back. 2, 3. To the side. 2, 3. Forward. 2, 3. Change directions. 2, 3. To the back. 2, 3. To the side. 2, 3. And forward. 2, 3. Well done. Obviously, we're moving the hips and spine every which way we can. Forgive me if sometimes I cut my head off. All these movements are so dynamic. I'm up and down left. And so I need to keep up with the camera work as well. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Excuse me. Now, this is an interesting one because what the perception is versus the impact. This is called the leg over. There's not a good Sanskrit word for this, and I'm sure you're heartbroken about that. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is a leg over. Now, of course, like all these exercises, there's a seated and well, there's a lying down version. So there's modifications and variations. What we're going to do, pick whichever leg you like. I'm going to hold the chair for some stability. Let's straighten that leg, and we're going to lift it up straight. Again, we're going to engage the foot like we did with the back stretch. Bring those toes to our knee. And you're going to feel that in your quadricep. I already do. All right, and we're going to bring it over, keeping your hip on the chair, keeping the leg straight, keeping the toe engaged. You're going to feel a heck of a lot of pressure on the groin muscle, which is a muscle that is absolutely susceptible to injury. And now we're going to bring it back to the center and down. Excellent. Whew. Now, again, that's a tight exercise. And so if there's any kind of cramping, tightness, pinch, something that hurts too much, we always immediately stop the exercise. And of course, please let me know if that is occurring. Let's change sides. Straighten the leg. Just because I'm wearing black pants, I want you to see the perspective. And we're going to bring our toe to our knee. And that's going to engage the calf, engage the quadricep. And we're going to bring it up and over. Oh. And you'll notice with any given exercise, most of the time, unless you're absolutely ambidextrous, and we're going to come back, and those are for 10 seconds, by the way. One side's typically going to be stronger than the other, and that's absolutely normal. So for a right-handed person, your left side typically will be weaker. Left-handed folks tend to have a little advantage because they have to live in a right-handed person's world, so they built up that side. So there's a little bit of ambidextrous ability there, just for you southpaws out there. God bless you. And some of you are good piano players as well, and boxers, but that's another story. Okay. Now, for our last exercise, dealing with just keeping our stretching up and our flexibility, mobility, which is probably the most important thing as we get older, we're going to do what we call a simple twist. And this is called the Ardha Matsyendrasana. So our chest expansion was the Ardha Chakrasana, and this is the Ardha Matsyendrasana. Okay, and so very simple. I'm going to bring my leg over and cross your legs. A lot of us can't do that. That's okay. But what we want to do, but I'm going to start with the cross leg position. I'm cross-legged. I'm going to bring my arm across, and I'm going to twist my back, keeping my back straight up and down, and we're going to be twisting. And we're going to do this for 15 seconds. And relax. Now, we can also do like so. For those who don't have that kind of flexibility within their leg, you can do it so. But what we need, and even you don't even have to cross the legs, it's preferable. But what we want is that twist. So our spine, we've moved our spine forward, backward, side, side. Now we're twisting it around because you are only as young as your spine is flexible. If you come away with anything from today, you are only as young as your spine is flexible. That is the truth. So, you know, a big old tree in a windstorm, a strong oak will fall with a great wind. The blade of grass will just blow in the wind. Think about it. Okay, great job. Well, actually, let's do the other side. Let's go to the other side for 15 seconds. Now, my legs are crossed. You don't have to cross your legs, but it helps. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Well done, folks. Ooh, okay. Now, we're done with our stretching. We're nice and warmed up, but blood is flowing through the muscles, and we're ready to take on the world. Send satellites up to the sky, right, folks? Okay. Now, let's get a little bit of resistance and some lower body workout. The good old squat, my friends. But we're going to have some fun with it. We're going to do a lunge. Let me do it from the side to properly illustrate as well. A lunge. And then we'll switch. A lunge. And then we're going to do squat, squat. So lunge, lunge, squat, squat. And we'll do 10 repetitions, okay? So lunge. And you don't have to go down far. It can just be like this. That's okay. We just want to get that movement. We're working our quads, our butt, hamstrings. Those are the primary muscle groups. So let's go. Lunge, lunge, squat, or way low, squat, or way high. Lunge, lunge, squat, squat. Now I have my hands up during those lunges when I come up. That's for momentum. However you get down, however you maintain your balance, that's all. That's just fine. Let me adjust the camera slightly. Let's keep going. Lunge, lunge, squat, squat, lunge, lunge, squat, squat. So June is coming quickly. Lunge, lunge. And this is great for getting that round booty. Squat, squat. Okay, great job, folks. And we want to do a lot more repetitions at any given time. But it's a fun little cheat here is that, and I'm going to adjust the camera so you can focus on my feet. When we're doing our squats with our ankles pointed to each other, this is going to work the butt primarily. However, when we have our feet parallel during the squat, this works out the hamstrings and your quadriceps primarily. Always the butt. Squats always work the butt. But when we're talking about focusing on specific muscle groups, it's an interesting tidbit to help make your workouts more dynamic. So let's just do a couple more repetitions of the lunge, lunge, squat, squat. And lunge, lunge, squat, squat, lunge, lunge, squat, squat. Alter your feet if you want. Lunge, lunge. And I just, there you go. So I pointed my ankles in for several of those to help the round booty. Excellent work, folks. Okay, now along those lines, because right now we're doing a mixture of cardio and resistance. Because the squat is so good, is a full body exercise, and that really does activate the cardiovascular system, even though it's somewhat counterintuitive because we always think or perceive that our cardio is a running and that kind of thing. But your heart, as you can tell, gets beaten pretty quick with the squats. So now we're going to do some lateral movement. We live in 3 planes of space. The frontal plane, as if there's a wall in front of me and one behind me, and kind of I can move in this plane here. There's the sagittal, walking and running. And then there's everything else. The transverse plane. Okay? And so what we're going to be doing is the frontal plane. So let's go side, side, squat, squat, side, side, squat, squat, side, side, squat, squat, side, side, squat, squat. Great job. So it's important, that lateral movement. Why? Because it's not natural. We walk forward. It's not natural for us to move side to side. So we don't get a lot of that movement. Rarely do we do that movement. So that's what we're doing. The purpose of getting that movement laterally in the frontal plane. Great job, folks. Our next one, cardio. Let's get our heart rate up. Very few exercises or styles of exercise are better than martial arts. I'm biased. I like training. I like teaching martial arts, several disciplines. But for now, let's do a good 60 seconds of shadow boxing. Okay, so we're just gonna, let's keep our hands up. That's a kind of a cardinal rule. That is the cardinal rule of boxing. So, but we're just getting our blood going. So let's get some, 60 seconds. Do shadow boxing. You want to stay on the balls of your feet, throwing punches. Move around. Don't cross your feet because that makes you off balance during lateral movement. And we'll throw some combinations. Jab, cross, hook, things like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Don't have to be perfect on technique. We just want to get moving. Got 20 seconds left, folks. Keep going. Now, if anyone's looking through your cubicle or office window, just throw some punches at them. Just kidding. Don't get me in trouble, folks. 10 seconds. I like to throw kicks, but that's the next lesson. All right. Great job, folks. Hope your heart rate has increased. Oh, gosh. Okay. Let's keep moving. All right. We do want a little bit of rest here, but to maintain that heart rate, want to get moving pretty soon after our little rest. Okay. Next, let's run in place. All right. While we're running in place, we're going to do some modifications as we go so we can work other muscle groups. Let's do a jumping jack form while we're running in place. So now our legs are in the sagittal plane and our arms are working in the frontal plane. Good job, folks. This is going to work out the shoulders like crazy too. Now Let's pull. Let's pull. Great job. Keep it up. We're almost there. And you always want to be breathing. A tendency for us is to hold our breath when we're exerting force or exercise. Always breathing. We need to feed our muscles with oxygen. 4 seconds. Great job, folks. Woo! That was nothing, right? We could do hours more. Kicking butt, folks. Okay. Our next exercise, let's get back to our desks. All right. So we've all heard of mountain climbers, right? Several variations on what we can do. We want to bring our knees up. That's the big deal. We can also, of course, do it from the ground. I'm not suggesting that for today's exercise because we are in the office. We spent a heck of enough time on the ground, but just for giggles, let's see some mountain climbers from the ground. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but let's do that from the desk point. Get a good perspective for us. And we want to do this for, let's go for 30 seconds. What do you think? More? No, 30 seconds. Anyway, okay, let's go. Bring those knees up. One thing that I've found during exercise, that time goes by so much slower when we're working out. It's a time machine. Time is relative. Knees up. 5 seconds, folks. Come on, push it. All right. Good job. Okay. Woo. Feeling good. All right, folks. So that's our cardio session for now. I'm a little bit, the humidity is pulling out some moisture right here. Woo, okay. Hope it is for you as well. Hope you're getting your heart rate is up. Hopefully now we got that energy going, maybe a little endorphins kicking in, feels great. That's why I do it. I love that feeling of accomplishment, serotonin, endorphins. Feels great. It's the only way to do it. Okay. Now, we only have a couple minutes left, folks. So we're going to have to just crush it. Let's work on our core. Important. It's the route by which upper body and lower body connect. So the core is absolutely essential. And for me, my clients, we do it every workout and an extensive one as well. Simple right now. Let's sit in our desk. Oh, I had a big lunch, but I've digested. Let's not work right after eating. But I need to get moving. I feel like I ate too much. So let's get some crunches in. You can lean back if you want. I tend to want to lean towards front of my chair. Let's bring our knees to our chest. 2, 3, 4, 5. Look, I straightened my back out. I was leaning too much forward just then. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can also progress it, stick the legs up. Keep the legs straight and bring them up. That is an extreme position, and you only need a couple reps to get that impact. So here's the knees and extending the legs. Well done, folks. Woo! Okay, there's the crunches. Great job. And now for our next set of abdominal exercises, we're going to do flutter kicks. Oh, well, it's actually just better to do it from the profile. And let's just kick our legs with a flutter kick. I want to bring my butt out a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Okay, and you'll feel that in the quadriceps as well for obvious reasons. The resistance is at your feet, and the the pushing comes from the hips. Well done. Okay, now for our next exercise with the core, and then we're going to do some more upper body, and then we'll be done. We're almost there, folks. You're doing great. It's Friday. Now we're going to do scissor kicks. Similar principle to what we just did with the flutter kicks, which were these. But now we're just going to be going horizontally, like with scissors. Okay. And so let's change our perspective a little bit so you can see that. And I'm going to adjust a little bit. So one leg over the other, then under. 1, 2, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Well done. Woo! Okay. So those are 3 quick sets of some abdominal exercises that do impact your rectus abdominis, just the middle, and of course your obliques and side abs and everything else. So that's a comprehensive 3 sets, but there's a million ab exercises you can do. And so stay tuned for part 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, all the way up to 1,000. There's a million ab exercises because, you know, we all can kind of get bored and in a rut with exercise. So it's really important to keep it different, to keep it exciting. And also, not just for our boredom and just keep our attention, but the muscles get used to exercises. So if you do the same exercise all the time, your muscles get used to it. And you don't get that original impact and that shock that you initially got when you first start. So we do want to switch it up quite a bit. And that's why the differentiating exercises is important. Okay. So let's finish off with our upper body. And I know we're running a little bit long, but we'll wrap it up. We got it. Okay. So a personal favorite of mine is the good old push-up. The push-up is a full body exercise. Yes, we know it works out the chest and the shoulders and the triceps. But if you do proper technique, it tightens the abs, tightens the butt, because you want to keep your body straight. Now, we're going to be at our desk, right? So it's a little different. Make sure you're safe, of course. I think that goes without saying, but sometimes stuff happens when we exercise. So you always want to be aware and mindful of what we're doing. Because if we slip up, I can smash my face into my desk. We kind of don't want that. I have a meeting coming up or a Zoom or whatever. So let's stay safe. Let's do some push-ups. Let's try for 10. Now, you can go as far down as you want. And these are called inclines, by the way. If my feet were up, it would be a decline. So let's just do a couple sets of 10 and we'll wrap it up. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Well done, folks. I apologize. Spam, by the way, if you're interested in who is calling. Okay. We're going to finish with one more set of push-ups. Work the shoulders, arms. So push-up, if you're going to work up, if I had to choose any upper body exercise the rest of my life, it would be the push-up. It is comprehensive when you do the proper technique. And it even actually works out as a supplemental muscle being used as your bicep as well. So push-ups don't get the love that I think they deserve. So give the push-ups some love. So let's give the push-ups some love right now. This will be our final set, by the way, folks. And we're going to just do those 10 push-ups. And I'd like to wrap up with the pranayama again, meaning that complete breath. I like to start with a good breath and finish with a good breath. And also, let's try to remember, I'll address this during our pranayama, but try to breathe once in a while. Okay, let's do our final set. Push-ups, friends. Proud of y'all. Doing great. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ah, woo. Great job, folks. You made it. No more exercise except for let's take a good breath. Enjoy that oxygen. Enjoy the feeling of oxygen filling your lungs. So, if you want to sit down, be my guest, I'm going to stand up for this pranayama. So, we're going to come up on our tippy toes if you can. If you can't, that's no big deal. And bring our hands up in a methodical and graceful motion. Filling our lungs completely. Exhaling. Push all the air out. Squeeze your stomach. Again. Exhale. Forgive my sound effects, but that's the sound of getting all of that carbon dioxide out. Like I said before, the only way mass is decreased in the human body is by the exhalation of carbon dioxide. I could talk forever about it, but oh gosh, we're right here at the end of our session. I could go on forever, folks. I've really enjoyed it. And so my name again is Marcus Wadsworth. My email is Marcus at ancientmethod.biz. And I want to remind you of Wunsupona. This is one of their handy dandy resistant bands, loop resistant bands. And there you go, Wunsupona.com. They're fantastic, comprehensive wellness, meditation, Reiki, looking good, feeling good, self-defense, focus, stress relief. I could go on and on. Hey, I appreciate y'all's time. Please have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there. Gratitude. Bye-bye.